Bayou Time Sports is brought to you by Terrible General Health System's Community Sports Institute in conjunction with Barker Honda.
Everybody, welcome into Bayou Time Sports. Harry McCullough here. We're talking basketball. And look, the NBA Finals are right around the corner. We've got the Celtics and the Warriors are going to be playing for the championship there. But we focus a little more on amateur athletics and, of course, some local athletes that are doing good. We'll go to Covenant Christian Academy and former player there, Omari Dillard Johnson. Hey, first of all, thanks for being here. And we'll talk about your shirt. It's USA Student Athlete World. And you got an opportunity to maybe play in Europe this summer as an opportunity to maybe play in that arena. So tell me a little bit about your background first of all. Let's talk about this summer and the USA. I guess it's kind of a building block team where we're bubbling up looking for talent, right?
So I'll say first, thank you for having me here.
Sure.
I'm very blessed and honored to be here. The USA thing, I am going to be playing for Team USA at the United World Games coming up this June 13th through the 22nd. I will be going to Italy, Germany, and Austria. And how I found out about this was before my first semester going to Delgado. This was somewhere in August. I actually received an invitation and notification from my coaches, former NBA players, Coach Patrick Savoy and Coach Mark Davis. They sent over the information to me and an invite and told me to go try out, and I did.
So tell me about the trials. So where were these tryouts? How tough was it? There was a bunch of players involved?
The tryouts were in Texas. I dropped to Texas, and it were over 130 kids there, and it was very. I would say it's more of a character-based type of tryout because it was not only just skills they were looking for and evaluating. They were evaluating your character and leadership. So they were already saying like, if you don't have just not only just skills but the way to conduct yourself around everyone else, then you pretty much won't make it. So they look for everything.
Yeah, that's awesome. And and especially in the United States, you're traveling abroad. You want guys that represent the country, right? The USA should mean something on your chest as well. So that's great parameters to go. Your career. So people have probably seen you around the area. You played at Covenant Christian. You average almost 20 points a game and almost a triple-double on a lot of things. So when did you start playing basketball, and what about these skills that you developed?
When I started playing basketball, this was before, pretty much while my mom was carrying me. So my introduction came. Here's how the story goes. The story goes, my mother had these tumors that was inside of her, and I was around the same area where I was being created from, and then I used to would just hit it because it would be like these like ball-sized tumors,
Right.
and I used to just hit it, and that was my introduction then. And then so from there it was like, okay, before I even knew I wanted to like. Before I could even start talking, it was like, okay, I gotta have basketball. I gotta play basketball. I gotta play basketball. So that's where my that's where basketball came from.
Oh, that's an awesome story. I hope you. I don't know if you can remember that. I couldn't remember back that far to know if my mom had polycystic PCOS, I guess is the term that it's called sometimes. But that's awesome, and for your mom to deliver, I think you actually had some. You were a preemie, a premature baby, so you had to right from the start. You had to work hard, huh?
Yes, sir. And trust me, my mother would not let me forget that story. Believe it or not, that's one of those stories she wouldn't let me forget.
Well, that's awesome. So let's talk about your game a little bit. So you're a point guard.
Believe it or not, I actually started playing center when I first started playing. I started playing center and power forward, and then eventually, as I progressed during like games and stuff like that and grades, and then it was like, okay, I was told then not only now you gotta play that position, but you gotta learn how to play other positions too. So eventually, I want to say my sixth grade year I started playing point guard. Then my seventh and eighth grade year I started playing power forward, then small forward, and then through freshman year. It was more of a guard base, which means I was just playing point guard, shooting guard, and small forward, and that was for the rest of high school. So,
well, if you look at the best teams, the Warriors being one good example, you got almost positionless players where you can do switches on defense, you can spread the floor, you can shoot 3-pointers, that kind of stuff. So actually, that's a great advantage. But I would think on an Olympic size, format, you're probably not playing center on that level, especially against a bunch of Europeans from Italy and Germany and Austria, right? Those guys do tend to grow up a little bigger in the post a little bit. So if you can get switched and still guard them, that'd be awesome. But I would imagine you're going to be on the perimeter a little bit.
Honestly, I'm everywhere that the coach wants me to be because not only that I've had experiences playing these positions, but I can also guard anybody. So like it doesn't matter who it is. If there's somebody at 7 feet, I'm gonna bully him. That's just how it is. And if I'm playing the guard position, he's just not there's no way he's going around me. That's just how I've always kind of went towards when I was playing like defense and stuff like that or guarding somebody.
Right.
So
No,
yeah,
that's a
very
great
strong.
way to play. I mean, Anthony Davis was a guy that was a point guard, right? And he learned how to dribble, he learned how to shoot. Then he grew to 7 feet tall, and he became a post player. But he still had those skills of a small man. So it's like I say, it's in today's NBA, particularly when you look at it, it's positionless basketball. And like I say, when you look at what the Warriors are doing and the Celtics even, they have a lot of wings that can play several different positions. So that's a great way to do it. So we got about 30 seconds to go. So tell me again when y'all going and who you play first, and do you know the format of the tournament?
I don't really necessarily know like the teams yet. They still haven't come out with that part, but I do know that it will be pool play. So it's gonna be a total, I think, 4 different pools, and that's about it.
Yeah, you do pool play probably a little bit like the World Cup. You do a pool play and then a couple from the pools advance to the next. Last year you didn't play, but the year before or years before that, you came from Covenant Christian. What kind of program did y'all have over there? Y'all were usually pretty successful at Covenant Christian.
When I went to Community Christian, well, before then, I heard about like my ninth grade year how they went to state and stuff like that previous year, and I actually found out through I think one of the students that I knew that were very close to me and stuff like that. I found out through them, and then I also met their coach the week afterwards, and he was like, he seen what I played like, and he wanted me there.
Right. Oh, that's great, man. So, you talked a little bit about part of this program is being off the field, and they want the right guys, they want the right representation. Says here you're a 4.0 student. I didn't check your transcripts, but I'm gonna take the right part. How important is that for you to lead by example off and on the court?
To lead by example is simply of just not only just knowing and learning and being aware of everything is around sports, but then to also being aware of who you are as a person as well. That comes from a lot of learning, definitely.
Mm-hmm. And how much time does it take you to work on your basketball game and to be a good student like that?
It takes a lot of time. It takes I remember days working out at about like 5 in the morning, and then at like 5 a.m. workouts to maybe about 6 or 7 a.m. And then afterwards, getting ready for school. That I would have school. For me, I was homeschooled, so I would always have school from 8 to 12. So and after 12 a.m. comes, do some homework for 2 hours, and I'll go work out again, and then that would be my full schedule.
I got you. So when you're homeschooled, you can also play at Covenant Christian, and that is like your home base school. That's how it works.
Actually, how homeschool works is that they have the principal and the coach has to agree together if they'll allow you to play or not. Because like I've played almost everywhere, kind of. Like my 7th grade year, I played for Evergreen Junior High. My 8th grade year, I played for Oaklawn Junior High. We went undefeated Paris champions that year. And then freshman year, I played for Ellender, and then 10th grade through 12th, I finished out at CCA.
I see. Yeah, I think Tim Tebow actually did that. He was homeschooled, and he also played football at certain places. So I know there's a correlation of how you can do that. But that's interesting. That's a lot of traveling around to play basketball. So yeah, that's pretty good. So you average 18.4 points a game, 90% free throws. So that's good. You didn't do. I know a lot of homeschools, and this is terrible, but a lot of people get into the spelling bee. It seems like a lot of those kids were homeschooled. You didn't do sport at a 4.0 student. You didn't get into spelling bee.
Okay, I think either the second or third grade. I cannot remember this, but I do remember doing a spelling bee and actually winning it. I think this was no, it was second grade.
Yeah.
It was second grade. I actually remember winning it my first time actually. So
But that Scripps one that's a national every year. I think the little girl from New Orleans last year won it. And
yes,
yeah, she's also a basketball
she's
player. I
also a
don't know if
basketball
you
player.
know her.
I've
Yeah.
seen it. I see the videos being posted.
Right. She was an online sensation before, and I'm not sure where she's going to go to play college. But so tell me about Delgado, and are you hoping? What are you studying at Delgado?
Right now I'm just doing general studies
Mm-hmm.
because I could not make up my mind before then. Cause I want to do either business or sports management. So yeah, I couldn't decide.
Are
So
you
I just went
commuting,
there.
or are you living in New Orleans now?
Because of Delgado and how it is, because I think the only thing with Delgado is that athletes are allowed to live on dorms and they have to go to Suno for that. So I'm just going back and forth.
The Delgado students live at Suno?
Well, the athletic, because it's like
Right,
they don't
right.
really have any, don't have any like dorms for
Right, right,
everybody.
right.
So,
I got you. Yeah, and look, I mean, you guys, anybody that's been in high school these last few years, it's been a totally different year as far as COVID. We go to COVID, we go into a big hurricane last year, so I know it's been a different time. Our next segment, we're going to bring your mom out here. We're going to talk about a foundation that you've been working with kids, and that's always been important to you to do that. You said you had a mentor in Patrick Savoy. What about him? What did he do that made you look at him and go, you know what, I kind of want to do that when I get older?
a lot of it was just the stories he used to tell me when he was first started to play for the NBA and then playing overseas. He would tell me those stories, and then he eventually saw me play, and then right then and there he see my potential, and then so from there we kind of like he kind of always looked out for me after that.
Yeah. You grew up in Dularge?
It's
So did y'all have a court that y'all went and played and everybody kind of got together in the neighborhood and played a lot like that?
as far as like on the weekends, it was definitely those cases because it would be right outside my house.
Right. Yeah.
So on the weekends it would be those. It would be that, and then on the weekdays, Monday to Thursday, I would go to Dulas Gym.
Right. And that gym, yeah, it's a nice gym. Actually, unfortunately, we had all the hurricane stuff. I was working out of there a couple of days when we were doing some volunteering work down the bayou there, and of course they had all the supplies in that particular gym. So I guess there wasn't a whole lot of basketball being played this fall. So you had mentioned earlier how important she has been in your life. And I didn't know you were homeschooled. That's even more important, right? So, Karen, you got to be proud right now as you get ready to go watch him. Are you going to get a chance to go, or
Yes, I'm going with him.
yeah, as you get to go to Europe and again, hopefully everything's good in Austria and Germany and Italy. With what's going on in Europe right now, but. I think everything will be fine, but it's got to be a proud moment to kind of go through this process with Omari.
Oh, yes. I never thought in a million years that I was going to have a child that's going to end up on the USA Olympic basketball team.
Yeah.
You have your child and you're very excited, and like any parent, wow, you can't wait to see how the future unfolds. And the way it unfolded has just been wonderful for him. He's been doing basketball since I carried him, and he's still doing basketball. I'm his number one fan. Everybody know. Have you ever been to a basketball game? You heard me.
Exactly. Exactly. Well, hopefully, you can get some people, some scouts watching you play this. I mean, it's going to be a showcase of some great players. You didn't play at Delgado last year. Well, hopefully this will be a showcase, and he'll not only, play for an Olympic team, but also get a way to pay for your college too, right? I'm sure that's what you're hoping, huh?
Like I said before, if the opportunity comes, I will be ready. But like I said before, I am grateful wherever I play, whether it's professional or a collegiate level.
Right. Yeah. Well, but I mean, you want to continue to play, right? You don't want to just stop after these 2 weeks that you're playing.
Oh no.
So yeah, you put in a lot of time and effort. Now, you said earlier we were talking about. You said part of making a team is off the court, right? And so, Karen, you and Omari started the Sunrise Foundation. So, can y'all tell me a little bit about the Sunrise Foundation?
Well, the Sunrise Foundation started out because of my dad. My dad passed away in 2016 of lung cancer, and I'm a single mom. And Omari and my dad were very, very close. Two peas in a pie. Sometimes I tell him, I say, you remind me so much of your papa, because he say things that only old people would say. And that's from hanging out with my dad. And what it was, little beknownst to me, when he would go over there and spend the nights, they would stay up all night just to watch the sunrise.
Oh, I got you.
I was like, you didn't go to sleep? He'd be like, no, we wanted to see. My dad would say, no, he wanted to see the sunrise. So that was their thing, watching the sunrise. So that's why it's called Sunrise. And whenever we get the opportunity to, we like to speak at local camps or churches or anywhere where anybody let us talk and teach kids about the dangers of smoking. Tell them about, hey, it's not a good thing because you could lose your papa.
Right.
And everybody, who doesn't love their grandparents?
Sure.
Grandparents are the best. They let those kids get away with everything.
Yeah, of course. Somebody's got to.
Yes, you know, I'm saying this wasn't the dad I had. You know?
Right. Yeah, no kidding. So how important is that? And so what's your message when you talk to young kids about that?
My message is the kids is always a thing of when the sun rises as we are born. So don't let your sunrise become your sunset by smoking, by trying to be hanging with the wrong crowd of the danger of smoking.
Right. You're 19 years old. So look, I was a teenager, right? Karen, you're a teenager. There's a lot of temptations that comes with being a teenager. How have you been able to do it in your life to stay away and stay on the right path like that?
For me, one is always giving my life up to God, praising Him, telling Him thank you every single morning I wake up. And another person that's helped me out is my mom that's over here. She also raised me to always be about my books, God, and basketball. So I've been focused on those ever since, and also, and it's a lot of love as well.
Oh, absolutely. Well, you can tell that. Karen, look, I'm gonna flip the question on you. It's not easy to be a parent in today's world, right? You got obviously what we've been through with COVID, and we got, but just online temptations, things we're seeing in society nowadays, to raise a godly child, right, and make them try and lead a path for them. How tough was that for you as a single parent?
Well, being a single parent is tough, but I had great help. Besides myself raising him, I had my mom and my dad assisting me in raising him, and I had my church family. Everybody at church knows him because he's been going to Sunday school and church since, I guess you could say, since I carried him.
Right.
So it wasn't very hard at all with raising him and keeping him on the right path, because I always kept him active in something.
Right.
If he wasn't at church, then we were doing something with his school. Because you got to realize, whenever you're homeschooled, he had a worldly education.
Oh, yeah.
So he had opportunities to do things that the normal kid didn't. Like, for example, we were blessed to be invited to the Easter egg roll at the White House 2 years straight.
Oh, nice.
So he had that experience. So when we went to D.C., we went to the Smithsonian, we went to the monuments, we got to eat at the best cornbread spot in the world, Georgia Brown's, which is a historical civil rights restaurant where all the presidents have been, Dr. Martin Luther King. So I always made sure he was busy doing something.
Oh, no.
So when you're busy, then your mind doesn't have time to idly wander in places where it shouldn't be.
Yeah, no, and look, you've done a wonderful job. Just geography, right? Now he's going to know about Europe. It's awesome. Congratulations, Omari. Karen, thank you so much for being with us.
Thank you.
Thank you.
We'll be right back with more Bayou Time right after this.